Итак, текст на аудирование и перевод к 4-му уроку. В этом уроке снова даны порядковые числительные, то есть 1, 2, 3, 24 и так далее. Итак, вы должны: первое, прослушать предложение, остановить воспроизведение. Третье, записать это предложение себе в тетрадь на английском языке и письменно перевести его на английский язык. Поехали!
The first.
Is this your waitress?
The second.
Is this waitress yours?
The third.
Yes, this is our waitress.
The fourth.
This waitress is ours.
The fifth.
Does that actor have his movie?
The sixth.
Is that movie his?
The seventh.
No, that actor doesn't have his movie.
The eighth.
That isn't his.
The ninth.
Are those your architects?
The 10th.
Are those yours?
The 11th.
Yes, those are my architects.
The 12th.
Yes, those are mine.
The 13th.
Doesn't that photographer have her photos?
The 14th.
Aren't these photos hers?
The 15th.
Yes, that photographer has her photos.
The 16th.
These photos are hers.
The 17th.
Do you have your butter?
The 18th.
Do you have yours?
The 19th.
No, this isn't my butter.
The 20th.
This isn't mine.
The 21st.
Do I have my photo?
The 22nd.
Is that mine?
The 23rd.
No, I don't have my photo.
The 24th.
That photo isn't mine.
The 25th.
Aren't these schoolgirls their waitresses?
The 26th.
Aren't these waitresses theirs?
The 27th.
No, these schoolgirls aren't their waitresses.
The 28th.
These aren't theirs.
The 29th.
Is it her architect?
The 30th.
Is it hers?
The 31st.
Yes, it's my architect.
The 32nd.
It's mine.
The 33rd.
Is that your butter?
The 34th.
Is that yours?
The 35th.
No, that butter isn't ours.
The 36th.
We don't have our butter.
The 37th.
Are these your photos?
The 38th.
Are these yours?
The 39th.
No, I don't have my photos.
The 40th.
These photos aren't mine. The 41st.
Is she our banker?
The 42nd.
Is she ours?
The 43rd.
Yes, she's our banker.
The 44th.
She's ours.
The 45th.
Does that baker have her oil?
The 46th.
Is that oil hers?
The 47th.
No, that baker doesn't have her oil.
The 48th.
That oil isn't hers.
The 49th.
Don't those actresses have their movies?
The 50th.
Aren't those movies theirs?
The 51st.
Yes, they have their movies.
The 52nd.
These are theirs.
The 53rd.
Do those ants have their photo?
The 54th.
Isn't this photo theirs?
The 55th.
No, those ants don't have their photo.
The 56th.
This photo isn't theirs.
The 57th.
Are they her bankers?
The 58th.
Are they hers?
The 59th.
Yes, these are her bankers.
The 60th.
These are hers.
The 61st.
Doesn't this chick have its feeder?
The 62nd.
Is this feeder its?
The 63rd.
No, this chick doesn't have its feeder.
The 64th.
This isn't its.
The 65th.
Am I your boss?
The 66th.
Am I yours?
The 67th.
Yes, I'm your boss.
The 68th.
I'm yours.
The 69th.
Does that driver have his camera?
The 70th.
Is it his?
The 71st.
Yes, that driver has his camera.
The 72nd.
It's his.
The 73rd.
Doesn't she have her cake?
The 74th.
Isn't that cake hers?
The 75th.
No, she doesn't have her cake.
The 76th.
That isn't hers.
The 77th.
Don't these deer have their feeders?
The 78th.
Aren't these theirs?
The 79th.
No, these deer don't have their feeders.
The 80th.
They aren't theirs.
The 81st.
Does he have his bosses?
The 82nd.
Are these bosses his?
The 83rd.
No, he doesn't have his bosses.
The 84th.
He doesn't have his.
The 85th.
Does that editor have her cameras?
The 86th.
Are they hers?
The 87th.
Yes, that editor has her cameras.
The 88th.
They're hers.
The 89th.
Are those your cakes?
The 90th.
Are those yours?
The 91st.
No, those aren't our cakes.
The 92nd.
Those aren't ours.
The 93rd.
Isn't this your artist?
The 94th.
Isn't this yours?
The 95th.
Yes, this is our artist.
The 96th.
This is ours.
The 97th.
Does this farmer have his chickens?
The 98th.
Are these his?
The 99th.
Yes, this farmer has his chickens.
The 100th.
They're his.
The 101st.
Does this deer have its drinker?
The 102nd.
Is this drinker its?
The 103rd. No, this deer doesn't have its drinker. The 104th. This drinker isn't its. The 105th.
Aren't these artists his?
The 106th.
Aren't they his?
The 107th. No, these artists aren't his. The 108th. These aren't his. The 109th.
Does that chicken have its chicks?
The 110th.
Aren't those its?
The 111th. Yes, that chicken has its chicks. The 112th. They're its. The 113th.
Are these your drinkers?
The 114th.
Are these yours?
The 115th. No, these aren't our drinkers. The 116th. These aren't ours. The 117th.
Do you have your doctors?
The 118th.
Are those doctors yours?
The 119th. Yes, we have our doctors.
The 120th.
Those doctors are ours.
The 121st.
Isn't that your team?
The 122nd.
Isn't it yours?
The 123rd. No, it isn't our team. The 124th. That isn't ours. The 125th.
Don't you have your email?
The 126th.
Aren't these yours?
The 127th. No, we don't have our email.
The 128th.
These aren't ours.
The 129th.
Do I have my team's?
The 130th.
Aren't they mine?
The 131st. Yes, I have my team's. The 132nd. Those teams are mine. The 133rd.
Do these economists have their emails?
The 134th.
Are those emails theirs?
The 135th. Yes, these economists have their emails. The 136th. Those are theirs. The 137th.
Is he your doctor?
The 138th.
Is he yours?
The 139th. Yes, he's my doctor. The 140th. He's mine. The 141st.
Don't I have my restaurant?
The 142nd.
Isn't that mine?
The 143rd. Yes, I have my restaurant. The 144th. That's mine. The 145th.
Doesn't it have its ticket?
The 146th.
Isn't that ticket its?
The 147th. No, it doesn't have its ticket. The 148th. That ticket isn't its. The 149th.
Aren't those your sheep?
The 150th.
Aren't they yours?
The 151st. Yes, those are mine. The 152nd. Those are my sheep. The 153rd.
Do we have our video?
The 154th.
Isn't that video ours?
The 155th. Yes, we have our video. The 156th. That video is ours. The 157th.
Aren't these restaurants yours?
The 158th.
Don't you have your restaurants?
The 159th. No, These restaurants aren't mine. The 160th. I don't have my restaurants. The 161st.
Isn't it your sheep?
The 162nd.
Isn't it yours?
The 163rd. No, it isn't ours. The 164th. It isn't our sheep. The 165th.
Aren't those videos yours?
The 166th.
Don't you have your videos?
The 167th. No, we don't have our videos. The 168th. These videos aren't ours. The 169th.
Don't we have our tickets?
The 170th.
Aren't these tickets ours?
The 171st. No, we don't have our tickets. The 172nd. These tickets aren't ours. The 173rd.
Do you have your chocolate?
The 174th.
Is it yours?
The 175th. Yes, I have my chocolate. The 176th. This chocolate is mine. The 177th.
Do you have your barbers?
The 178th.
Are these barbers yours?
The 179th. Yes, these are ours. The 180th. We have our barbers. The 181st.
Does that grandfather have his cow?
The 182nd.
182. Is this cow his?
The 183rd. Yes, that grandfather has his cow. The 184th. This is his. The 185th.
Does this schoolboy have his chocolate?
The 186th.
Is this chocolate his?
The 187th. Yes, this schoolboy has his chocolate. The 188th. This chocolate is his. The 189th.
Doesn't that director have his barber?
The 190th.
Isn't it his?
The 191st. No, that director doesn't have his barber. The 192nd. It isn't his. The 193rd.
Do these farmers have their cows?
The 194th.
Are they theirs?
The 195th. Yes, these farmers have their cows. The 196th. They're theirs. The 197th.
Do those granddaughters have their cream?
The 198th.
Is it theirs?
The 199th. Yes, they have their cream. The 200th. It's theirs. The 201st.
Doesn't that housewife have her oven?
The 202nd.
Isn't that oven hers?
The 203rd. No, that housewife doesn't have her oven. The 204th. That oven isn't hers. The 205th.
Don't you have your hotels?
The 206th.
Aren't those yours?
The 207th. Yes, we have our hotels. The 208th. Those are ours. The 209th.
Don't you have your garden?
The 210th.
Isn't this garden yours?
The 211th. No, I don't have my garden. The 212th. This isn't mine. The 213th.
Does that freelancer have her cream?
The 214th.
Is that cream hers?
The 215th. Yes, she has her cream. The 216th. It's hers. The 217th.
Don't you have your ovens?
The 218th.
Aren't they yours?
The 219th. No, we don't have our ovens. The 220th. They aren't ours. The 221st.
Doesn't this company have its gardens?
The 222nd.
Aren't those gardens its?
The 223rd. Yes, this company has its gardens. The 224th. Those gardens are its. The 225th.
Is this your hotel?
The 226th.
Is this yours?
The 227th. No, this hotel isn't mine.
The 228th.
I don't have my hotel.
The 229th. Doesn't this sheep have its bowl?
The 230th.
Isn't this its?
The 231st. No, this sheep doesn't have its bowl. The 232nd. This isn't its. The 233rd.
Do you have your buildings?
The 234th.
Are those buildings yours?
The 235th. Yes, we have our buildings. The 236th. We have ours. The 237th.
Don't you have your toilets?
The 238th.
Aren't those toilets yours?
The 239th. No, I don't have my toilets. The 240th. Those toilets aren't mine. The 241st.
Doesn't that squirrel have its toilet?
The 242nd.
Is this its?
The 243rd. No, that squirrel doesn't have its toilet. The 244th. It isn't its. The 245th.
Don't these sheep have their bowls?
The 246th.
Aren't these theirs?
The 247th. No, these sheep don't have their bowls. The 248th. These aren't theirs. The 249th.
Is that your building? The 250th. Is that yours? The 251st.
No, I don't have my building.
The 252nd.
That isn't mine.
The 253rd. Doesn't this specialist have her cap? The 254th. Isn't this cap hers? The 255th.
Yes, this specialist doesn't have her cap.
The 256th.
This isn't hers.
The 257th. Doesn't that scientist have his juice? The 258th. Isn't that his? The 259th.
No, that scientist doesn't have his juice.
The 260th.
That isn't his.
The 261st. Aren't I your carpenter? The 262nd. Aren't I yours? The 263rd.
Yes, you're my carpenter.
The 264th.
You're mine.
The 265th. Does this researcher have his keys? The 266th. Are these his? The 267th.
Yes, this researcher has his keys.
The 268th.
These are his.
The 269th. Are these juices yours? The 270th. Are these yours? The 271st.
Yes, these are our juices.
The 272nd.
These are ours.
The 273rd. Does this secretary have her key? The 274th. Is that key hers? The 275th.
Yes, this secretary has her key.
The 276th.
That key is hers.
The 277th. Are we your carpenters? The 278th. Are we yours? The 279th.
No, you aren't our carpenters.
The 280th.
You aren't ours.
The 281st. Do those grandsons have their caps? The 282nd. Are those caps theirs? The 283rd.
Yes, those grandsons have their caps.
The 284th.
Those caps are theirs.
The 285th. Don't those researchers have their exams? The 286th. Aren't those exams theirs? The 287th.
No, those researchers don't have their exams.
The 288th.
Those exams aren't theirs.
The 289th. Does that instructor have his bottle? The 290th. Is that bottle his? The 291st.
Yes, that instructor has his bottle.
The 292nd.
That bottle is his.
The 293rd. Don't you have your boat? The 294th. Isn't that boat yours? The 295th.
No, I don't have my boat.
The 296th.
That boat isn't mine.
The 297th. Does this hairdresser have her exam? The 298th. Is this exam hers? The 299th.
Yes, this hairdresser has her exam.
The 300th.
This exam is hers.
The 301st. Don't you have your bottles? The 302nd. Aren't those bottles yours? The 303rd.
No, we don't have our bottles.
The 304th.
Those bottles aren't ours.
The 305th. Do these inventors have their boats? The 306th. Are these boats theirs? The 307th.
Yes, these inventors have their boats.
The 308th.
These boats are theirs.
The 309th. Doesn't this sportswoman have her map? The 310th. Isn't it hers? The 311th.
No, this sportswoman doesn't have her map.
The 312th.
It isn't hers.
The 313th. Are you his builders? The 314th. Are you his? The 315th.
Yes, we're his builders.
The 316th.
We're his.
The 317th. Don't those sportswomen have their maps? The 318th. Aren't they theirs? The 319th.
No, those sportswomen don't have their maps.
The 320th.
They aren't theirs.
The 321st. Is this your builder? The 322nd. Is this yours? The 323rd.
Yes, this is our builder.
The 324th.
This is ours.
The 325th. Aren't those your horses? The 326th. Aren't they yours? The 327th.
No, those aren't our horses.
The 328th.
They aren't ours.
The 329th. Don't I have my money? The 330th. Isn't it mine? The 331st.
Yes, I have my money.
The 332nd.
It's mine.
The 333rd. Doesn't that vet have his horse? The 334th. Isn't that his? The 335th.
No, that veterinarian doesn't have his horse.
The 336th.
That isn't his.
The 337th. Isn't this your money? The 338th. Isn't this money yours? The 339th.
No, this isn't my money.
The 340th.
This isn't mine.
The 341st. Does that mother have her sugar? The 342nd. Is that sugar hers? The 343rd.
Yes, that mother has her sugar.
The 344th.
That sugar is hers.
The 345th. Isn't he your butcher? The 346th. Isn't he yours? The 347th.
No, he isn't our butcher.
The 348th.
He isn't ours.
The 349th. Doesn't this pensioner have her card? The 350th. Isn't this card hers? The 351st.
No, this pensioner doesn't have her card.
The 352nd.
This card isn't hers.
The 353rd. Do these parents got their sugar? The 354th. Is that sugar theirs? The 355th.
Yes, these parents have their sugar.
The 356th.
That's theirs.
The 357th. Aren't we your butchers? The 358th. Aren't we yours? The 359th.
No, we aren't your butchers.
The 360th.
We aren't yours.
The 361st. Do those sons have their cards? The 362nd. Are these cards theirs? The 363rd.
Yes, those sons have their cards.
The 364th.
These cards are theirs.
The 365th. Do I have my ideas? The 366th. Are those ideas mine? The 367th.
Yes, I have my ideas.
The 368th.
Those ideas are mine.
The 369th. Aren't you his cleaners? The 370th. Doesn't this gardener have his cleaners? The 371st.
No, you aren't his cleaners.
The 372nd.
This gardener doesn't have his cleaners.
The 373rd. Does this animal have its toys? The 374th. Are they its? The 375th.
Yes, this animal has its toys.
The 376th.
They're its.
The 377th. Is it her hobby? 378th. Is it hers? The 379th.
Yes, it's her hobby.
The 380th.
It's hers.
The 381st. Do you have your animals? The 382nd. Are those animals yours? The 383rd.
Yes, you have your animals.
The 384th.
Those animals are yours.
The 385th. Do you have your idea? The 386th. Is this idea yours? The 387th.
Yes, I have my idea.
The 388th.
This idea is mine.
The 389th. Aren't I your cleaner? The 390th. Do you have your cleaner? The 391st.
No, you don't have your cleaner.
The 392nd.
I'm not your cleaner.
The 393rd. Does this manager have her hobbies? The 394th. Are these hobbies hers? The 395th.
Yes, this manager has her hobbies.
The 396th.
These hobbies are hers.
The 397th. Are they your composers? The 398th. Are they yours? The 399th.
No, those aren't our composers.
The 400th.
Those aren't ours.
The 401st. Doesn't this machine have its passport? The 402nd. Is that passport its? The 403rd.
No, this machine doesn't have its passport.
The 404th.
No, that passport isn't its.
The 405th. Does this mechanic have her message? The 406th. Is that hers? The 407th.
Yes, this mechanic has got her message.
The 408th.
That's hers.
The 409th. Isn't she our composer? The 410th. Isn't she ours? The 411th.
No, she isn't our composer.
The 412th.
She isn't ours.
The 413th. Doesn't that model have his passport? The 414th. Isn't that passport his? The 415th.
No, that model doesn't have his passport.
The 416th.
That isn't his.
The 417th. Do you have your messages? The 418th. Are those messages yours? The 419th.
Yes, you have your messages.
The 420th.
Those messages are yours.
The 421st. Are you my cook? The 422nd. Are you mine? The 423rd.
Yes, I'm your cook.
The 424th.
I'm yours.
The 425th. Isn't this his phone? The 426th. Isn't this his? The 427th.
No, this isn't his phone.
The 428th.
This isn't his.
The 429th. Does that worker have his daughter? The 430th. Is it his? The 431st.
Yes, that worker has his daughter.
The 432nd.
It's his.
The 433rd. Do I have my salt? The 434th. Is it mine? The 435th.
Yes, I have my salt.
The 436th.
It's mine.
The 437th. Are you our cooks? The 438th. Are you ours? The 439th.
Yes, we're your cooks.
The 440th.
We're yours.
The 441st. Do those scientists have their phones? The 442nd. Are they theirs? The 443rd.
Yes, those scientists have their phones.
The 444th.
They're theirs.
The 445th. Doesn't that worker have her salt? The 446th. Isn't it hers? The 447th.
No, that worker doesn't have her salt.
The 448th.
It isn't hers.
The 449th. Does that veterinarian have her daughters? The 450th. Are they hers? The 451st.
Yes, that veterinarian has her daughters.
The 452nd.
They're hers.
The 453rd. Do you have your company? The 454th. Is it yours? The 455th.
Yes, I have my company.
The 456th.
It's mine.
The 457th. Does this organization have its director? The 458th. Is that directorates? The 459th.
Yes, this organization has its director.
The 460th.
That director is its.
The 461st. Are those shops yours? The 462nd. Are they yours? The 463rd.
Yes, those are our shops.
The 464th.
They're ours.
The 465th. Doesn't this technician have her companies? The 466th. Aren't these companies hers? The 467th.
No, this technician doesn't have her companies.
The 468th.
These companies aren't hers.
The 469th. Do these uncles have their shop? The 470th. Is this shop theirs? The 471st.
Yes, these uncles have their shop.
The 472nd.
This shop is theirs.
The 473rd. Don't those organizations have their directors? The 474th. Aren't those directors theirs? The 475th.
No, those organizations don't have their directors.
The 476th.
Those directors aren't theirs.
The 477th. Isn't that your curtain? The 478th. Isn't this curtain yours? The 479th.
No, it isn't my curtain.
The 480th.
It isn't mine.
The 481st. Aren't you our electricians? The 482nd. Aren't you ours? The 483rd.
Yes, you're our electricians.
The 484th.
You're ours.
The 485th. Do we have our onion? The 486th. Do we have ours? The 487th.
Yes, you have your onion.
The 488th.
You have yours.
The 489th. Don't these sisters have their meat? The 490th. Isn't that meat theirs? The 491st.
Yes, that's their meat.
The 492nd.
That's theirs.
The 493rd. Doesn't that tailor have her curtains? The 494th. Aren't those hers? The 495th.
Yes, that tailor has her curtains.
The 496th.
Those are hers.
The 497th. Don't I have my meat? The 498th. Isn't it mine? The 499th.
Yes, you have your meat.
The 500th.
You have yours.
The 501st. Am I your electrician? The 502nd. Am I yours? The 503rd.
No, you aren't my electrician.
The 504th.
You aren't mine.
The 505th. Don't I have my onion? The 506th. Isn't this mine? The 507th.
Yes, you have your onion.
The 508th.
You have yours.
The 509th. Doesn't this freelancer have his engineers? The 510th. Aren't these engineers his? The 511th.
No, this freelancer doesn't have his engineers.
The 512th.
They aren't his.
The 513th. Aren't you my engineer? The 514th. Aren't you mine? The 515th.
No, I'm not your engineer.
The 516th.
I'm not yours.
The 517th. Don't you have your rule? The 518th. Isn't that yours? The 519th.
No, you don't have your rule.
The 520th.
That rule isn't yours.
The 521st. Doesn't that hairdresser have his rules? The 522nd. Are those rules his? The 523rd.
No, that hairdresser doesn't have his rules.
The 524th.
Those rules aren't his.
The 525th. Do we have our park? The 526th. Isn't this park ours? The 527th.
Yes, you have your park.
The 528th.
This park is yours.
The 529th. Don't you have your parks? The 530th. Aren't these yours? The 531st.
No, you don't have your parks.
The 532nd.
Those parks aren't yours.
The 533rd. Don't you have your pigs? The 534th. Aren't they yours? The 535th.
No, you don't have your pigs.
The 536th.
They aren't yours.
The 537th. Do we have our business? The 538th. Is that business ours? The 539th.
Yes, you have your business.
The 540th.
This business is yours.
The 541st. Aren't we your salesmen? The 542nd. Aren't we yours? The 543rd.
No, we aren't your salesmen.
The 544th.
We aren't yours.
The 545th. Is that his business? The 546th. Is that business his? The 547th.
Yes, that business is his.
The 548th.
That's his.
The 549th. Aren't I your salesman? The 550th. Aren't I yours? The 551st.
No, I'm not your salesman.
The 552nd.
I'm not yours.
The 553rd. Don't I have my pig? The 554th.
Yes, you have your pig.
The 555th. Isn't this pig mine? The 556th.
That pig is yours.